Ladies, welcome back to another video. If you would love to work, travel and explore the US, then this is your tea, honey. Come sip because I'll be spilling. Do my makeup as I tell you how to become an au pair.
If you joking now in for me, I ain't got it. I've been scheming, do it. Hide your body as long as you dreaming about me. Ain't no problem.
Okay, let's start. Okay, so first thing first, what is an au pair? An au pair is an international live-in nanny for a host family. So what exactly you'll be doing as an au pair? You'll be looking after your host kids in exchange of cultural experiences. You'll be getting cultural experiences from your host family, and they will also be getting cultural experiences from you. The reason why I love cultural exchange programs is that you get to live in the same house with a typical American household, and you get to see what Americans live like. You know, it's different than just watching a movie and experiencing culture from the movie, or listening to their music and just getting to understand their culture from there. It's amazing how much cultural experience you will learn from living in the US with a typical American family. For instance, when I got here, I got to learn that not all Americans, in fact, a good percentage of Americans do not bathe in the morning, but prefer to bathe at night. And that's one of the things that I wouldn't have known if I was not living with Americans in their household. So bonto tse tshwanang le bo tipping, they're very big on tipping. Bonto tse tshwanang le bo food, the food that they eat is very different. Their lingo, things like that. It's just a lot of things that they do that I feel that I wouldn't have known of if I was not living with an American family. Please note that you can be an au pair in Europe as well. Just do your research on that and the requirements of that, but I'll be touching base on the requirements of being an au pair in the US. Now let's talk a little bit about the requirements of becoming an au pair. The first one is you have to be between the ages of 18 and 26 by the time you get to the US. And you have to have your driver's license and no criminal record. The other requirement is that you should not have a baby. You should not have a child of your own. And you must also have at least 200 childcare hours. And this does not count as working with kids that you are related to. You should at least volunteer at a childcare home. You can start with the application even if you do not have your childcare working hours yet, or maybe you do not have your driver's license. You can start with the application, and I would recommend that you do so. Start with your application, and you can work with getting the documents as time goes, because it can get long. And then there are a few agencies that you can use, because you have to use an agency. There are a few agencies that I know of that you can use, like Cultural Care. There is Aupair America, but the one that I use and I would recommend you using, because that's the one that I know, is Carla's Aupair. So yeah, just do your research on which agency you want to use. But when choosing an agency, please make sure that you choose an agency that's not just going to help you with your application process in South Africa, and when it's time to go to the Make sure that you do your research, choose an agency that will be there when you're in the US. If something arises in the US and you have complications with your family, you have disagreements with your family, or maybe you get hospitalized and you need insurance, make sure that you get an agency that will provide insurance, will provide communication, will provide a good community counselor when you get to the US, someone that you will talk to every month and check up on you, and even come into the host family's house and check up on the host family and make sure that you're in good living conditions, that you're not overworked, that you're not exploited, make sure that you have insurance, make sure that you're in a good living space mentally, and also you're not getting depressed. Make sure that you'll find an agency that recruits a lot of girls from South Africa and everyone is safe. Make sure that it's not a scam. Just be sure that whatever agency you're choosing, it's the right agency and it's going to be with you from the beginning till the end of your journey. Now, let's talk about the application process. The application process is very lengthy. Like I told you, it can be very, very long. But it really just depends on you if you have your documents ready. Yeah. So it can take anywhere from 2 months to as long as you want to make it. But yeah, it is pretty much that easy. The agency that you will pick will do everything for you, should do everything for you. If they don't do anything for you, or they don't do most for you, then consider finding a good agency. The agency that I used is Carlos Aupair. I will leave a link on my description and you can go check them out. Not sponsored, by the way, just helping you out. So the agency will apply for you and do everything for you. The only thing that you would have to do is just do your visa. But when the time is right, they'll tell you when to do the visa. The visa process will be done when you have already found your family, and this will be towards the end of everything. The agency will be paying for your flight to the US and back, so you don't have to worry about flight tickets. They will do that for you. Okay, so let's talk about the stipends. You'll be getting $200 per week, but if you have a degree in anything to do with childcare, if you have a degree, let's say in speech therapy and you deal with kids, or maybe you're a therapist, kid therapist or whatever, or you did teaching and you were working with kids, but you have a certain document to prove that, then you would put that in your application and you can get $250 instead of $200 per week. And that's how the stipend looks like. And then on top of the stipend, you will get housing. Like I said, you will be staying with your host family. You will have your own room, meaning that you will have your own privacy, you will have your own bathroom. And then the host family will provide you with food. The host family will also provide you with basic toiletry, soap, lotion, your basics. But they won't provide you with makeup, okay? They will just provide you with the basics. The other thing that you would be getting as an au pair is a car, because it is very hard to travel or to live rather in the US without a car. So the benefits of being an au pair is that you'll get a car and you get the $250 stipend if you do have a degree. If you do not have a degree in childcare, then you'll be getting $200 a week, which is equivalent to 3,000 something converter LC, converter. Yeah, and that's how it goes. Now, okay, now that you know how much you'll be getting, how long will you be working? You'll be working for 10 hours a day, and in a week you'll be working 45 hours. So 45 hours a week, 10 hours a day. 45 hours a week, 10 hours a day. And that's how it works. Your schedule will be very, very flexible and will solely depend on your host family. Everyone has a different schedule. Every au pair has a different schedule, and it's not a fixed schedule. It can change. This week it can be like this, the next week it can be like that. It will just solely depend on your host parents rather, and when they need you to work. What does a life of an au pair normally look like? Wake up at like 6:30, take a shower, meet the kids at the kitchen at like 7, and then give them a shower, get them breakfast, then drive them to school, and then come back, and then you have your break. So that will be probably like at like 8:30 until, let's say, 3, when they come back from school, when you have to go pick them up from school. Take them back home and then entertain them until their parents come back. That is what a typical day looks like as an au pair. Your duties are not to clean. You're not a maid. You won't be cleaning in the house. The only thing that you would be doing is anything that has to do with the kids. You'll be preparing meals for the kids, like I said, making them breakfast, but just the kids. If you have maybe a toddler and they play with toys, then you'll be helping sorting their toys up, things like that. You are not a maid. You are just looking after the kids, and whatever you do is for the kids. You do not cook, you do not wash, you do not clean the house unless if the child made the mess. That's all you do. And you clean the mess if you're on duty, right? Those are the duties of an au pair. And now let's talk about insurance. You will be insured when you get to the US. You get insurance, and this will just cover basic health problems. It won't cover your medical bills. It will just cover a cold. If you have a cold, if you get hospitalized, it will cover that. It will not cover a whole medical bill, but it will cover the little things like probably a toothache and you need antibiotics. You have a cold, it will cover that. Things like that. You would be covered by the insurance. And yeah, the other thing that you would be required to do by the state and by your visa as an au pair is to get a little bit of accredited education about the US history. You are required to do a short-term course to learn about the American history, to learn about the American language, which is English if you're not a native English speaker, to learn Spanish, to learn, American culture. You are required to take a 32-hour course on that, and that is equivalent to 6 credits. So after the first year of your au pair journey, you can extend to 6 months, 9 months, or another year, so you can live in the US for a total of 2 years, which is nice. Isn't that good? Okay. The cost of being an au pair for the cost of even starting the application, that would be somewhere around 15 to 20,000 rands, depending on the agency that you chose. But again, with the money, you don't have to pay upfront. You pay as you go. So let's say that to initiate the application would be 2,000. You would have to pop out the 2,000 first, and then the application will go through, and then on another stage, let's say you're going through a matching stage, then they would need a matching fee. Matching is just basically finding a family and trying to match with the right family that has the same values, the same interests as you. That way you don't have problems when you're staying with those people. You want to make sure that you made a good match. So when you go through the matching phase, then you would have to pop out something out, pop out more money for that. But it definitely just depends on the agency that you chose. But that will cost you around 15 to 20,000 rands. Remember, the flights are paid for. You don't have to pay for your flights. They will be paying for your flights to the US and back. They'll be covering your insurance. They will also be, the host family will also be covering your food, your stay, and your basic toiletry, and your fuel and the car expenses as well will be covered. The visa process will be done by the US Embassy near you. There's one in Johannesburg, there's one in Sandton, and there's one in Cape Town and Pretoria. You just choose the one that's near you, and the visa is 3.5. But that again is when you are done matching, when you already found your family, then you can pay the visa fee. But then you also pay, you don't pay it directly to the agency, you pay it to the American Embassy. One last thing, if you're still on this, if you are still watching until this far, there's a smallanyana tip that I want to give you. If you're going to be using the agency that I recommended to you, which is Carlos, they have a competition every single year towards the festive season. And the competition is basically you doing a video telling them about yourself and why you think you'll be a good au pair. And if you win, you do win the competition, they will pay everything, all expenses from the application, from your visa, every single thing. They'll be paying it for you, and you will get to come to the US with no charges at all. And guys, this is an amazing opportunity that changed my life, and I hope that you would also apply. I just hope that you apply, and it's gonna change your life, I promise you. Yeah, I think I covered everything. If there is something that you feel like I did not cover, or you still need clarification about something, please comment it down below, and I'll make sure to get back to you. Thank you guys so much. I hope that this video was informative, and you will be starting your application very, very soon, because I won't lie, coming to the US changed me. I am just a new person, honestly, a different person. I have grown so much, and I think it does show even with the way I talk now and how I look, the way I look physically. I'm just a matured human being. It is very mentally straining. It can get depressing because, number one, you're far away from your family. But it is a life-changing opportunity, and I think you should also do it. Try it out, and I promise you, it is gonna change your life. Mwah! If there's something that you feel that I left out, or you want any clarity, remember, please do put everything in the comment section. I will be answering anything that you do not understand. Just put it
High volume.
Am I really that much?